They say human space pirates are the most feared force in the galaxy. Not because they're armed to the teeth. Not because they burn worlds or leave battlefields littered with bodies. No. The fear comes from something far worse. A Zdari trade ship, the Viejuin, drifts through deep space, its alien crew tense as their sensors blare an alert. Unidentified vessel approaching. No known registry. No weapon signatures. Just a ghostly, black-hulled ship coasting toward them in silence. The captain, a four-eyed veteran named Zyrek, watches in growing dread as the pirate ship closes in. He has heard the stories. Entire fleets surrendering without a shot fired. Commanders who fled into exile rather than face them. Ships that disappeared, their crews found years later, alive, unharmed, but forever unwilling to speak of what had happened. The comm system crackles to life. A human voice, calm and almost amused. Viejuin, this is Captain Elias Kane of the Black Mirage. Stand down, and this will be painless. Zyrek's second-in-command, a jittery officer with pale scales, hisses in fear. Sir, no weapons detected, but it's them. Zyrek swallows hard. Hail the Korvac fleet. Now. The communications officer fumbles with controls, sending out an encrypted distress call. A Zdari warlord is nearby. If he can hold out, maybe, just maybe, they can survive this. Kane's voice returns, smoother this time. Ah. Hoping for reinforcements, are we? That's adorable. The screens on the Viejuin's bridge flicker. Suddenly, hundreds of ships appear on their long-range scanners, an entire pirate armada uncloaking around them. Red lights flash. Proximity warnings blare. Zyrek's mandibles click in panic. Impossible! The second-in-command's breathing grows ragged. Sir, we're surrounded. Kane lets out a slow, almost lazy sigh. Now, Captain? You're an experienced man. Do you really think fighting us is a good idea? Zyrek's mind races. He knows human pirates never attack directly, yet, the data on the screen is undeniable. He tries to steady his voice. We will not surrender. Kane chuckles. Of course not. The lights dim. The ship shudders. The life support systems flicker, and then, darkness. In the pitch black, something moves. Faint whispers crawl through the air, garbled words in a dozen languages, distorted as if spoken from inside their skulls. Zyrek's crew grips their consoles, eyes darting around the bridge. A sickening, primal feeling of being watched washes over them. The auxiliary power hums back on. Red emergency lighting casts the bridge in an eerie glow. On the main view screen, a horrific sight, Kane's face, staring directly at them. But not through the comms. Through their own internal cameras. Zyrek jerks back in his chair. How? Kane tilts his head. Do you know why your ancestors feared the dark, Captain? The whispers intensify. Soft at first, then a rising tide of disjointed pleas and screams. Some crew members collapse, clutching their heads, gasping for breath. One of the junior officers lets out a shrill cry. It's in my head, it's in my head. Kane sighs. They always break at this part. Zyrek's hands tremble. He slams a fist against the console. Show yourselves, cowards! Kane's expression doesn't change. Oh, we're already here. The security feeds glitch. Shadows flicker in the hallways, moving too fast for the eye to track. Grainy shapes that look almost human, but wrong. Twisted. Watching. Someone screams. The second-in-command scrambles away from his console, panting. Sir, the lower decks, motion detectors are going insane. Zyrek grips his armrests. He knows the ship's bulkheads are sealed. Nothing has breached their hull. But his crew, hardened Zdari officers, are unraveling before his eyes. Kane's voice softens. Look, Captain. We can do this the easy way or the fun way. Zyrek grits his teeth. This is just a trick. A ruse. You're bluffing. Kane smirks. That's what the last guy said. Before his crew jettisoned themselves into space to escape their hallucinations. The lights cut out again. The view screen distorts. For a brief second, just a fraction of a second, something else appears behind Kane. Zyrek sees it. The blurred outline of a figure too tall, too thin, its head tilted at an unnatural angle, featureless except for its gaping, grinning mouth. A sound crawls through the speakers, not words, but a wet, rasping breath. The screen blinks back to Kane's face, normal again. Smiling. Zyrek breaks. His voice shakes. What do you want? Kane leans back, satisfied. Just your cargo. Zyrek doesn't hesitate. He overrides security protocols, dumping the ship's supply hold without another word. Kane's voice carries the warmth of a man who has never once been denied. See? That wasn't so hard. The black mirage drifts away, pulling its hull with it. And just like that, the nightmare ends. The phantom fleet vanishes from sensors. The whispers die. The shadows, if they ever existed, dissolve into nothing. Zyrek slumps in his chair, shaking, drenched in cold sweat. His second-in-command exhales a choked sob. One of the officers whispers, barely audible. Did we ever stand a chance? Zyrek's mandibles twitch. No. The black mirage vanishes into the void, leaving the Viajuan adrift in terrified silence. But while one ship surrenders, another does not. High Lord Korvac receives the distress signal and does not flinch. He does not believe in ghosts. He does not believe in unseen armies. And he certainly does not believe in the so-called legend of human pirates. His fleet is vast, 50 warships, each bristling with plasma cannons, ion lances, and hardened assault craft. He has crushed rebellions, raised colonies, and slaughtered those who thought they could defy him. A single human vessel does not scare him. His second-in-command, a burly Stari with deep crimson scales, watches the tactical display. Orders, my lord? Korvac sneers. They think tricks will save them. They think deception is a weapon. Fine. Let them try. Across the sector, the black mirage receives Korvac's response. Kane lounges in his chair, spinning a data crystal between his fingers. His crew watches him, waiting. Rena, the AI specialist, breaks the silence. He's not falling for it. Kane smiles. Of course not. He thinks he's different. Jules, the illusionist, frowns. And if he is? Kane chuckles. Then we show him why he's wrong. The game begins. The black mirage alters course, broadcasting a high-priority distress signal across the warlord's fleet. Desperate, pleading voices crackle through their comm channels, starry voices. This is Warship Vrexel 7. We've been compromised. Something's inside. We don't know what it is. Requesting immediate. The transmission cuts into static, then a long, distorted scream. Korvac's bridge officers tense. The second-in-command glances at the Lord. One of our ships? Korvac doesn't even look up. A fabrication. Yet the tactical feed flickers. One of their own warships, the Rio Vrexel 7, drops out of formation, veering off course. Confusion spreads through Korvac's ranks. Sir, they're acting on their own. The warlord's fists tighten. Patch me through. A second transmission bursts through the speakers, layered with static. The captain of the Vrexel 7 speaks in a quieter, shaken tone. And my lord, we detected something. In our lower decks. It's not showing on scanners, but we hear it. Korvac snarls. You hear nothing. Regain formation! No response, my lord. The ship drifts farther. The surrounding crews hesitate. They are afraid. The human pirates do nothing. They don't fire. They don't threaten. They just watch. The fear spreads. Korvac's voice is steel. What are they playing at? His officers don't have an answer. But then the second breach report comes in. Another ship. Different sector. Same story. Korvac slams his fist into his armrest. Find the source of this madness. His technicians scramble to analyze the data, to expose the deception. But the numbers don't make sense. Ship-to-ship communications distort mid-transmission. Biosign readings fluctuate, revealing crew members that don't exist. Then the lights flicker. Across his fleet, minor power disruptions ripple through the systems. Nothing catastrophic. Just flickers. Shadows cast in places they shouldn't be. Korvac grits his teeth. Scare tactics. Kane finally speaks. That's an awful lot of coincidences for a man of your wisdom, Warlord. Korvac narrows his eyes. You are nothing. A parasite preying on the weak. Your tricks end here. Kane lets out a mock sigh. Ah. That's a shame. Because I was going to warn you. Korvac's expression darkens. Warn me? Kane leans forward, voice lowering to a whisper. That we're already inside. The ship's long-range scanners flicker. And suddenly, 3 of his own warships fire upon each other. Panic erupts across the fleet. Sir, unknown forces detected on Deck 3. My lord, security teams report seeing figures in the corridors. We're losing control. Korvac's claws dig into his armrests. Lies. All of it. But his crew? They are already breaking. They don't care if it's real. The fear is real. And fear is all Kane needs. The Warlord's fleet is in chaos. Ships break formation. Crews turn on each other. Reports of phantom intruders flood comm channels, shapes flickering in dim corridors, voices whispering commands that no one issued. Korvac's rage is volcanic. He knows it's a trick, a fabrication, but his officers are faltering. Fear has poisoned their minds. The second-in-command's voice wavers. And my lord, ship captains are requesting orders. They are cowards! Korvac snarls. Execute any who disobey. But the damage is already done. Across the fleet, security footage loops strange anomalies. Blurred figures moving just outside the camera's focus, crew members appearing in 2 places at once. False distress calls spread paranoia. Hallucinations of familiar voices, departed friends, lost lovers, *** whisper in the dark, ***. One ship self-destructs. Not from battle. From fear. Kane's voice cuts through the chaos. Korvac, you're losing control. Korvac trembles with fury. You are nothing but a voice on a speaker. Kane chuckles. And yet I've made your best soldiers see ghosts. The tactical display distorts again. Fleet numbers shift. Some ships register as empty, others show additional life signs. No consistency. No pattern. Just enough doubt to unravel them. A junior officer stammers. My lord, we need to regroup. Korvac seethes. We stand. We do not yield to illusions. A deep, guttural scream erupts from his own flagship's lower decks. A real scream. A real crew member, shrieking in mindless terror. And then another. And another. The security team locks down the lower levels. Korvac's claws twitch. His heart pounds. Something is wrong. He turns back to the main display. The black mirage hasn't moved, not once. Kane's voice lowers, soft as death. Do you know what fear does to an army, Korvac? More screams. Clanging boots. Gunfire. Korvac's mind races. His own men are killing shadows. The second-in-command pales. Sir, we can't fight this. For the first time, doubt flickers in Korvac's golden eyes. Kane knows he has won. He leans in, voice a whisper. Run! Korvac's pride is the only thing holding him together, but his fleet is falling apart. Crews are abandoning posts, ships are turning against each other, and the whispers, those damned whispers, will not stop. He sees it now. This is how the humans win. Not with guns. Not with force. But with doubt. With madness. He snarls. This is not over. Kane's voice remains calm. Oh, Korvac! It was over before it began. The warlord's instincts scream at him to fight, but his officers no longer wait for orders. One ship jumps to hyperspace. Then another. Cowards. Traitors. But what good is anger now? His own crew flinches at shadows. One reaches for his sidearm, trembling. Another won't stop muttering under his breath. Korvac watches them, sees the fractures widening. His second in command meets his gaze, silent but pleading. For the first time in his life, Korvac yields. Fall back! A broken whisper. A surrender without saying the word. The black mirage does not move as the great warlord flees. One by one, his mighty fleet vanishes into the void. The silence that follows is deafening. Kane leans back in his chair, stretching. And that, my friends, is why they fear us. His crew exhales. Some grin. Some shake their heads. Rena smirks. Didn't even need the real tricks this time. Kane just smiles. They never needed weapons. They only needed the truth. Humans are the monsters in the dark.